Welcome to my beginner's guide to the Bucaneer set. This is a set that you cannot craft, and currently the only way to obtain the different pieces is to go to season 2.4, the Poison Sea, and here you can find the different pieces of equipment. By the way, this is also the season where you can find the Jelly King, which is, in my opinion, the best minion if you want max key drop chance. Please check my minions video on that. And you can find these pieces of equipment in this dungeon, either by fighting or using loot tickets or in a party that is farming this dungeon, or also by opening the caches. However, as usual, I don't recommend you spend ancient coins unless you're specifically looking for the unique uh, item in this specific season, not the regular items that can be farmed. Now, the Buccaneer set is an interesting one, but it is one of those things that on paper, I'm sure it sounded really, really good, but in reality ends up being a bit weird. Here's the thing. Gold in this game is pretty much useless. If you watch enough of my videos, you will see that my gold is always or almost always capped. Except on Sundays when I go to the shop. Oh, and by the way, I think this week I haven't spent, or did I? No, here. Yeah, I haven't. Okay, excellent. For the video, armor, please. Yeah, minion. Exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. But unless it's Sunday and I'm spending my gold on the 30,000 weekly gift or the 25,000 weekly random spell pages, in every other video, you will see that my gold is always maxed. So there is no real reason to collect gold in this game. And this is a set that is based on increasing your gold bonus. Now, there are certain spells that work with gold bonus, but again, so far, none of those spells are game breaking. So it's an interesting gimmick. What I'm trying to say is that there are certain builds, and I've tried to make enough build guides for you to have a good understanding of the different options that you have. There are certain builds, as I said, that take advantage of the strengths of each class, and I highly recommend to start with. And then there are other builds, those builds that you make because you're bored, or you want a challenge, or you want to try something different. They can be really, really fun, but they're often not as strong or as good as those test and true builds. And this is something that happens with this set. It sounds very good on paper, but in reality, well, let's talk about it. So, the two pieces set bonus. At the start of battle, gain gold bonus equal to the number of yellow gems divided by 1 on the board. For the mercenary, you count green gems as well. Okay, you can expect 8 of each color at the start of the round at the start of round 1, because it's only a start of battle, not at the start of each round. So let's say that you get 8 yellow gems. If you're using 2 ancient set items, please check my video on the ancient dragon set. You will get 4 additional ones, so 12. That's the average that you can expect. 12% gold bonus okay, it's not gonna make any big difference, honestly. And that's the average best case scenario. Yeah, if you're extremely lucky, maybe it will go up to 15, still not very good. And even if you're playing with a mercenary, okay, 8 yellow plus 8 green plus another 4 from the Ancient Dragon set, but you will probably be using I mean, probably, for sure, you will be using the Amulet of the First, so that's -6. Yay, that will be 14 on average. Um, Still not worth it. For the 4 set pieces, when taking damage, 75% chance to spawn a blue gem. For the mercenaries, spawn 2 blue gems instead of 1. So the 2 set bonus is for yellow gems or green if you're playing a mercenary. Now the 4 set pieces is to chance to spawn a blue gem, a single blue gem when taking damage, and it's not even guaranteed. Okay, fine. And finally, the 6-piece set bonus. If gold bonus is above 75%, gain 30% power for the mercenary. If the gold bonus is the gold bonus the requirement is only 65%. Okay. However, this requires you to equip the whole set, all 6 pieces. And here's the problem. This set has a head piece and a belt piece. Well, guess what is the easiest way to increase your base gold bonus? By using a Gasduli helm that will give you, this one is only legendary, at mythical will give you 25% bonus gold, but you cannot wear it because you're wearing the tricorn, or by using the guard's belt. That gives you a whooping 50% gold bonus, but you cannot equip it because you are using the Bucaneer's Baldric instead. So the 6 set bonus is great, but it blocks you from using the items that will help you achieve this gold bonus. Obviously, there is another way to do so, and it's by going to the tavern and allocating points in the gold bonus option of the light magic tab. I don't think it's worth it, honestly. So, for a gimmick build that you want to try something completely different, okay, but otherwise the set bonuses are mediocre at best. Next, let's talk about each individual piece of equipment. So let's start with the belt. When making a column match, increase gold bonus by a certain percent. This is pretty good. It's really going to increase your gold bonus by a lot. Let me check at Mythic what it does. At Mythic, it will increase the gold bonus by 10% or 12% for the mercenary. So just 2 points more than this. Yeah, 10% is good, but you need to get a column which is most of the time quite random, and there are much better belts for any other build or any build that you can use. The belt slot is a pretty good one. It's a decent piece of equipment, but again, only for a very gimmicky uh, build. The Bucaneer's ring. When making 5 or more matches in a turn, there is a chance equal to your gold bonus to spawn a blue gem. For the mercenary, it has an additional chance to spawn a grid gem. Again, This is for the forced bonus that will give you a blue gem, but you need to make 5 or more matches in a turn, which is not easy when your build floods the board with one type of gem, or two if you're using a physical build that you want your color gems and your skulls. Making 5 or more matches is not that easy because they tend to stick together and make one huge match instead of 5 individual ones. And again, a chance to equal to your gold bonus to spawn a single blue gem. Okay. And a 10% chance to spawn a green gem. Nice, but meh. Next is the charm, which is the amulet. Gain resistance equal to your gold bonus divided by 10% of your starting resistance when matching 5 or more blue gems. Okay. Um, Again, if your resistance, let's say that your resistance, excuse me, that let's say that your gold bonus is 50%, you are increasing your resistance by 5%, or 50 divided by 8 will be 6, 7, yeah, 7%. Eh, and it's only for blue gems. Um, okay, fine. Next, the weapon, the cutlass. Gain 1% damage increase for every 12% or 10% for the mercenary gold bonus you have, capped at 10% damage increase. And this is the real issue here. If it wasn't capped, theoretically, you could get a lot of mileage from this weapon, assuming the battle lasted for long enough. But at only 10% damage increase, it's almost nothing. So another meh weapon. Let's talk next about the tricorn. When matching 5 or more yellow gems in a single match, increase your gold bonus. Okay, nice. But again, half of the bonuses are for yellow builds, the other half are for blue builds. Yes, you could theoretically use a hybrid yellow and blue on a mercenary. It's doable, but for a personal challenge, if you want to make your life harder, I wouldn't recommend it as a good build, honestly. And finally, the breeches, which in my opinion is the best individual piece of equipment for this set. Gain armor equal to your gold bonus divided by 10% of your starting armor when matching 6 or more gems. This is a decent piece of equipment for all builds except, obviously, for a green build. If you're playing a green build, you want to use, now let me check the pants. Okay, you want to use the serpentine pants because they're going to give you a lot more armor. But this armor, if you're simply using this item together with the Castuli helm right here and a guard's belt like this one right here, if both of them were, uh, well, okay, with just one legendary and one mythic, this is 70% gold bonus, which means that you're getting 7% of your starting armor when matching 6 or more gems. Obviously not as good as the serpentine pants, but the serpentine pants are green only, so you can use these for any other build. However, if you're using a physical build, I honestly prefer the bone leg armor. The amount of armor that is going to generate is going to be lower It's only 2.5% when matching skull gems, but the leg armor together with a bone ring are going to give you, oh, sorry, I didn't equip the leg armor, are going to give you a 75% chance to create a skull at the start of each turn, which is, in my opinion, much better for a physical build. And you're not using other valuable slots of your equipment. So, yeah, all in all, build that I'm sure it sounded good on the drawing board, but in reality is quite disappointing. Yes, you can use the breeches as an individual piece of equipment for an elemental build. For example, if you watch Born's Blue Shaman build, he uses the Buccaneer's breeches. So yeah, it's a decent piece of equipment for a non-green elemental build, but that's it. That's all I have to say about this set. Honestly, quite disappointing, and especially the fact that the both the belt uh, and the head slots are used by these pieces of equipment that completely block you from using good pieces of equipment that also have gold bonuses. So unless the developers introduce a gold sink in the game, a way to spend your gold that justifies having a good gold farming build, mm, yeah, not my favorite. Sorry about that. And that's the video. If you found it useful, please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.